Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cuddyback, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, RK Tractors, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, Wasp Archery, and Realtree.
Hi, and welcome to Midwest Whitetail, the Heartland. Today we're out in some public ground in southern Iowa. Like I mentioned before, my uncle's farm is about 2.5 hours away from me, so I don't get back there as often as I'd like. Today had a pretty good start to the morning. Seen about 10 does so far, and what they're doing is they're working from a hayfield, and then I'm kind of in between that hayfield and where they like to bed, so just catching them as they come back to bed. Seen about 10 does so far, so overall pretty good for a morning sit, especially in this early October. Really just feels good to get out and see some deer, so we'll stick tight here about another hour and see if anything else comes through, but overall pretty good start to the morning. It's October 6th and we're on some public land here in southern Iowa, and our mission today is we're going to get back in a food source that's probably over a half mile back there. So I'm hoping that being a secluded food plot and early on in the season the deer are still moving in daylight in that area, and at the same time we're going to be looking for any scrapes, trying to get our cameras over those. Being on public, we can't put any bait out, and scrapes tend to be the best way and quickest way to get a good assessment of what bucks are living in the area. So we're going to head back there, take our time, try to be as quiet as we can, get set up on that food source, and hopefully have some good action for you tonight. We'll give you a quick update. Right now we've seen 3 deer, being 2 does and a button buck that came right underneath the stand here. Still got about another hour and a half of light, and we've seen 2 bucks so far pop up on this other end of this bean field. We're kind of in this bean field's long and narrow, and we're set up a little bit to the south of them, hoping that they just stick in that bean field and work through as it opens up into a bigger agricultural field. Those bucks are probably about 125 yards away, working this way. Appear to be pretty nice ones, not for sure. I don't think they're shooters, but if they come through here, we'll get a better idea. action slowed down a little bit, so I can give you a little update, but we've had an action-packed sit so far. I mean, for the last hour, it's been pretty much a steady flow of deer. Even had that really pretty nice buck come through right at probably 5 yards and made a scrape and even snort wheeze, so can't get much better than that. He's a deer I thought about shooting, but was kind of on the fence, and I'm not going to shoot a deer that I'm on the fence about. I want to feel good about it, so we decided to let him go, but it's been a pretty steady action. Like I said, we've seen well over 15 deer. I would say at least 8 of those were bucks. I wasn't really keeping a tally, but just an awesome sit. We got about 15 minutes of light left, so still time for another one to come through, but overall been a pretty awesome hunt, and this is a spot hopefully we can get back here soon, because right now there's a lot of action coming through this area.
Hey guys, just wanted to check in with you this week and just give you kind of a quick update of what's going on and what my plan is here. I have not hunted since opening day when we did it with the kids. We've kind of been laying low, but we have had one of the first cold fronts move through in October. We had a pretty good front middle towards the end of last week, so I wanted to get out here today and just see kind of how the sign is on the farm as well as the trail cameras. Just while I was checking, the sign has definitely picked up. You could tell the deer were a lot more active during that front. Found some scrapes, and found one scrape in particular, just hands down the biggest scrape I've ever seen on this farm. I know the camera probably doesn't do it justice, but the scrape had to have been about 6 feet wide, and it was a completely natural one. I didn't do anything to docker that area up. It's one that the deer just started, and it's huge. Definitely going to be a big social scrape that we'll keep a camera on this year. So had a chance to check the cards, and to my surprise, that front did get some daylight movement going, even for early October. So Javi Baez ended up going daylight during the front. I think the pictures that I've seen now, I think I'm really nailing down his home area. So we're going to keep paying real close attention to where he's at on cameras over the next couple days. I will be hunting this weekend with Brad, and we have a huge front coming in across the Midwest, significantly better than the front that came through last week. Temps here are going to be in the high 40s, but with the wind chill, they're calling a real feel of 20 degrees, and the pressure is going to be skyrocketed. So we'll get out here and check cameras one more time before Saturday, and if he is still on that pattern of right at daylight or coming through at daylight in the mornings, I got to stand on a ridge top back here and it's right on a trail specifically for deer that funnel back into that bedding area. So if he still does that, we might try and push it and see if he makes that mistake Saturday morning and do our first morning hunt. So as far as the card checks, other deer that were on the cards, number 1, Shredder. I probably don't talk about him enough, but he's a deer we've had on the farm for 3 years, and he showed up on camera. He's still nocturnal, but I have him at 6.5 years old this year. Definitely, he's number 1 just because of the history. Tons and tons of trail cameras, pictures of this deer, but not a ton of on the hoof encounters since he was a 3-year-old. So other deer that showed up on this card was the big 6 that we call Sadler, who I was planning on hunting this weekend on the south side of my farm if the wind will allow. He showed up on camera this week today on a scrape. And another deer, we're going to name him Nick Chubb this year. I think the pictures will kind of speak for themselves on the name, but looking forward to him. If this is the deer I think it is from last year, and maybe you guys will have a better guess, but he's made a significant jump and is a really nice deer as a 4.5-year-old this year. So gonna get out of here, and like I said, we will check cards again before this weekend's hunts for the cold front. But just wanted to do a quick check-in and kind of let you guys know what my plan is, and just want to say thanks for watching another week's episode of Midwest Whitetail's The Heartland Show, and we'll see you back here next week with hopefully some good action from this weekend's hunts.
Welcome back to Midwest Whitetail, The Heartland Show. Today is October 10th, and me, Jake, and his grandpa, we're down here on my main farm doing a little bit of checking cuddelink systems, I guess, and I got 2 more to put out and to add. But we got a big cold front rolling in tomorrow. Last week we had a cold front on October 3rd. And me and Caleb got out a little bit over the weekend. Didn't see a whole lot, but we're hoping to get a lot more hunting in this weekend with this big cold front. We got one coming in tomorrow. Today's a high of 65, and tomorrow we got a high of 45. So the deer should really be up on their feet. And I wanted to get these cameras checked, see if beams or any of these other mature shooter bucks have shown back up down here on this property. I'm hoping to get out tomorrow night with Donovan and my son Cooper, and we'll probably have to go to the Redneck. We got a west wind, so it'll be good for it, but we're gonna go ahead and get these cameras checked and get these other 2 out, and hopefully we got a couple deer that show up that we can get after tomorrow. Got 10 cameras on that card, so let's go check them out. Oh, that's one of our shooters. When was that? 4:45 p.m. Interesting. Well, just got done checking this cuddelink system down here, and got a couple good bucks showing up. One of them's really daylight, actually. But the first buck I'm going to talk about, he's a good 5.5-year-old. I have 2 years of sheds off of him. Saw him a bunch last year, actually, and I think he's a deer that we could target this year. I'm not going to target him yet, just because I'm waiting for beams to show up. But like I said, he's a 5.5-year-old and definitely on the hit list. And then I've also got another one showing up that was here all summer, and he's got a bunch of splits, mainframe 10. He's a pretty sweet deer. I'm still trying to figure out if he's 4 or 5, but that's the deer that we're kind of going to go hunt tomorrow night. And then depending on what he looks like in person, I'll decide then if I'm going to shoot or pass him. But it's awesome to see some of these deer up. I mean, this one with all the splits was daylight at 5:30, 5:40. So that's a good sign, and we got that cold front coming tomorrow, so they should really be up moving then. But right now, we're actually going to go put up 2 more cuddelinks to add to the system. Still no beams yet, but I'm really hoping that he gets out here and starts showing down. The corn across the river is still in, so like I said earlier, if that gets out, hopefully he'll be over here before too long. Got the cameras running. It really should be heating up here in the next couple weeks, and like I said, hopefully beam shows up, but we're going to be out this weekend full force. Got that cold front coming through, and really looking forward to hopefully get something on the ground for you guys to see next week. If not, hopefully we have some good encounters. But thank you for watching Midwest Whitetail, the Heartland Show.